Hello folks, this is Shannon with Shanman in Real Life. Today we're making honey white sandwich bread. Yummy! First you're going to add a cup of warm water into your bowl. Make sure it's not too hot, but definitely not too cold or else your yeast won't activate. Somewhere around 110 degrees. Then we've got to add something to feed those little yeasty guys, and that's sugar. So we're going to throw some sugar into the bowl and mix about 3 tablespoons of sugar into the water, and then add another tablespoon of honey, which is sugar, but it adds a different flavor and it's great. Now, watching this, I'm kind of wondering how I can get that honey out faster. And I think you got to dip it in the hot water and stir it around. We need to stir it around anyway, dissolve some of that water and get that honey right out of that tablespoon thing there. There we go, just taking our time with that. And we got it out. Okay, alright, that's good. First hurdle done. Then we're going to add our yeast really quickly here. We're going to put active dry yeast, so 1 packet or 2 1/4 teaspoons into the water. I don't know why it's dry active yeast. I wonder what wet inactive yeast is kind of like. Kind of imagine it's like my sister on a cold day. She's never going to watch this, so I'm safe in saying that. Then we're going to mix in that yeast, dissolve it a little bit just to make it all happy and good in there. And once we do that with my little girly whisk, we'll get our egg in our bowl because we're waiting for that yeast to really start working. It takes 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the temperature of your water, if you did that right, which is what we're trying to prove right now, that yeast is perfect. So you beat an egg at room temperature and put it aside for now. We're going to add it to the flour and make our dough a little bit later. What I do here is you're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. I know you're not seeing me do it, but I promise you that I did do it. And then you're going to add in 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Now, if you're anything like me, I'm a little clumsy, and I don't trust myself to put the cups of flour into the yeast that I've waited for 10 minutes to start working. So I put it in another bowl. Same thing with the egg. Then we're going to add our shortening. You can use butter, but I like the shortening because it's white and we're making white bread and it's good. If anybody knows a better way of getting shortening out of the tablespoon thing, I'd be welcome to hearing it because I hate getting it on my finger. It's really gross. So add your flour in all at once, even though I only did it in 2 different batches here. That's just because I'm goofy. But you don't have to do that. Just put it all in at once and let your mixer start working on the low setting. Okay, don't put this on setting 10 or else you're going to break your mixer and it's not going to come out right and your dough ball is going to be ooky and not happy. Ooky, that's a baker's term for you're stupid, you did it wrong with the mixer. Add your egg in there. You're going to start getting a shaggy dough, and don't freak out or anything like that. This is what it's supposed to look like at this point. I can see a little flour on my mixer there. That's driving me crazy. But let it start to work. It takes 5 to 8 minutes of kneading to get to this beautiful little dough ball. It should come clean of your dough hook very easily, and it should be a nice little ball. Pat it out there on your countertop. Put a little flour on there. You don't want much. We already put all the flour in that we want. And truthfully, you want this dough ball to be a little moist because if the dough ball is moist, then the bread is going to be moist. If it's super dry, then your bread is going to come out super dry because it doesn't magically make water when it's baking. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Look at my cute little hands rolling it into a ball. You don't even have to do this. The mixer already did it. I'm just doing this because I love touching it. Look at it. Look at it. Good little dough ball. It's so good. So good. Then you're going to put it into a greased bowl. Face down first. Flip it over. Basically, you're doing this because if you've ever not done this, then you know. It gets all dry and crackly, and then your bread just doesn't come out the way it's supposed to, and it's so sad. And if that happened for you, then maybe we should have a little support group. And anyway, enough about that. Don't ever do that. Just put the grease in there, and you won't ever have the trauma in your life. Cover it with your saran wrap. I put mine in the oven for an hour. I leave the light bulb on because, believe it or not, that little light bulb is hot, and it keeps it the right temperature in my oven. You'll have to experiment a little bit. But basically, the foolproof way is make sure it's... What's Katie? Katie, get your dirty little outside finger. Why did she come in and touch that dough ball? I don't know what her deal is, but anyway, it'll probably make it sweeter because she's such a little sweet little pumpkin pie. But anyway, take that dough and push it out, spread it around like that, and just mix it a little bit after you got it going. And really, if you're doing this, then it might get a little tough because that gluten is working in there. You might have to let it rest like I did for 5 minutes before you put it into your loaf pan. But then you're going to transfer it to your loaf pan and just push it down. I cram it in there because if you don't, what happens is it's going to form whatever shape it thinks it wants. And the truth is, sandwich bread, you want that nice mushroom top. So after you do that, leave it uncovered. I know what I told you earlier, but this time actually leave it uncovered. Put it in the oven for 45 minutes to an hour until it's doubled. You don't want to overproof it. Oh, look at those little legs. That's my other daughter, Lainey. Hi, Lainey. Why are you in my path every time I'm in the kitchen trying to do something? Yeah, I can't walk past her. I'm stuck in this little corner of the kitchen. But put some butter, or not butter. You can put butter, but I put milk on top of mine because I like that soft sandwich bread crust. Put it in the oven at 400 degrees for 5 minutes. Then reduce it to 300 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes. Take it out and check it. I know some people don't like to. Some people like to thump it, like to do that. But me, I gotta know. I gotta put a thermometer in. Put it right in there and make sure that it's 190 degrees. It is. Pull it out of the pan so you don't get a soggy bottom while it's still hot. I know. Use your Christmas oven mitts that have holes in them. Put them on the rack. And then when it's completely cool, do not do this when it's hot. Start cutting it. I use my scary knife that looks like it could cut any part of your body off just because it makes such beautiful little cuts. And it's better than that scary... Actually, all knives are scary. I don't even know why they let me have it. But there's our sandwich bread. Look how soft it is. It's beautiful. It's pretty. Touch it. Smell it. Eat it. You're going to love it on anything you eat. Don't forget to subscribe. We really need your views.